It'll also be Kennedy and Chaska, so settle in for another night of soccer. Kennedy boys hoping to have as good of a outing here tonight as they did last Thursday in that convincing 5-0 win against Jefferson. A lot of bench players got significant time in the second half for Kennedy, and they were led by Diego Fuentes Rodriguez, who had a hat trick and 4 goals in the second half for Kennedy against the Jaguars as they picked up their first win of the year. Kennedy now 1-2-1. On the other side, Chaska, it's been a phenomenal year for them. Their only loss came last Thursday in a 3-2 loss to Benilde St. Margaret's. Other than that, Chaska has won 4 out of their 5 games so far this year, their first 4, including a win against Kennedy in the season opener back on Thursday, August 27th. Chaska took that one 3-2 in a tight one, so we should have a good one here. Kennedy could really use a boost up the standings here in this one, and this win would certainly go a long way in helping them do that and then give them back-to-back wins. By the way, we will be joined, Josh Powers here in the booth, we'll be joined by Mauricio Barrientos shortly. He is going to be arriving shortly after kickoff to join me in our socially distanced booth, which consists of 2 separate booths here atop Bloomington Stadium. Perfect night for soccer as we had last Thursday. Hardly a breath of wind. A little bit warmer than last Thursday. Temperatures in the mid-70s, mid to upper 70s here at time of kickoff. So wind shouldn't be a factor. Still plenty of daylight left. We'll be under the lights later tonight for the girls' game as we're underway. Chaska in the white. Kennedy in the navy blue and gold as Siriaco Mundo. He was certainly a factor on Thursday. Sends it across. It's Arias. Back to Siriaco Mundo. His shot's blocked. And Chaska, who Kennedy will have to keep a close eye on. Ethan Ducklow, number 7, and David Garcia, number 10. They have combined for 15 of the 17 Chaska goals this season. Ducklow scoring 7 of them, and Garcia with a team-high 8. So those 2 guys, Ducklow, by the way, he is a senior. Garcia also a senior. Very senior-heavy roster as it's played into the Kennedy box, but we have a foul on Chaska. Jesus Siriaco Mundo. Arias tries to split Chaska defenders. Played it a little bit too far. Was looking for Fuentes Rodriguez. Taken by the Hawks. It's been a high-scoring Chaska team this year. They've scored at least 2 goals in every game so far this season, including a high of 6 in a 6-1 win against Robbinsdale Cooper. So they have been a tough team to slow down. Here are the Hawks. They twist one into the box for Ducklow. Intercepted there by Kennedy. So many seniors on this Chaska team. All but 6. All but 6 on the entire roster are seniors. So they are very experienced. Their head coach, Michael O'Reilly. Here's one into the box, and it's going to be onside, they say. It's Ducklow trying to maneuver. Sends it back out, left-footed try. Didn't get all of it, Alcindor. Kennedy plays it up ahead. Unable to move it any further was Fuentes Rodriguez. What a night he had on Thursday with 3 second-half goals in succession. That'll be over the line for a Kennedy goal kick. Carter Lansdale, the Kennedy netminder, actually will have a foul before that. Third minute here, Kennedy with possession. Siriaco Mundo sends it to the far side, return pass. Great season so far for Siriaco Mundo. 1 goal, 3 assists. So just about a point per game. As he had that one tipped away briefly. Alcindor has control for Chaska. Up ahead, Garcia touches it toward the sideline, played out by Kennedy. Throw for number 21, Fabrizio Arenas, as he sends it in. Too far on that ball, unable to get to it. Phil Schindler. Castaneda Rios for Kennedy, the senior midi. Good control by the Hawks. Toward the box for Garcia, too far for him, but it sneaks past the Kennedy D, and it's redirected in for a Chaska goal. A mistake in the box by Kennedy, and Arenas capitalizes. He continued to hustle, even though Kennedy looked like they had a perfect chance to either get that to goaltender Lansdale or just simply clear it out of there. Neither happened, and Arenas scores. And that's not the kind of goals you want to give up against Chaska. They're dangerous enough without fatal mistakes right in front of your own net. Arenas with his first of the season. So now Kennedy in a very early hole as that goal coming just 4 minutes in. Thrown into Omar Artola. Number 7 has it taken away. Ball up ahead. Nice touch there by Ducklow, the co-captain. Had it tipped away. Look at that move there by Josh Wackerfoos, number 8. Here's Ducklow. Taken out by Kennedy. Good defensive play there by Artola. See if Kennedy can hurry here with a little bit of numbers their way. Vera Martinez back to Siriaco Mundo. Twists one toward the box, and just in time, rebound chance for Kennedy, just over the bar. Oh my goodness. Artola was there first. And then I think it was Diego Perez who had the great chance on the rebound. It was Perez. Sent it just over the bar. And dodging one there is the Chaska D and their goaltender Carson Youngman, one of their co-captains. Great chance there for Kennedy. Siriaco Mundo trying to make things happen again. Fuentes Rodriguez had it hit him in the back. It's in the box. Perez chips again, and it's off the top of the bar this time. Wow. 2 great chances in less than 30 seconds for Kennedy. One goes just over the bar, one clangs off the top of the bar. Both set up by Siriaco Mundo. Chaska did give up 3 on Thursday to Benilde. They haven't shut out anyone this year, so defense isn't their strong suit. Save there by Carter Lansdale as he whips one over this way to Arias. Siriaco Mundo just controls the ball, center of the field, so well for Kennedy, so important to what they want to do. Nice touch there by the goal scorer, Arenas. Got it to Wackerfoos, who sends it over. Ball in by Arenas, looking for Garcia. Too far for him. Played there by Mora. Mora back for Garcia. His shot blocked. Good recovery there by Kennedy. It was Siriaco Mundo getting there just in time. Wackerfoos pushed by Arias as they battle. And played back by Schindler all the way back to Youngman. Not a good clearance there. Intercepted by Kennedy. Perez has Siriaco Mundo, Fuentes Rodriguez in front. Perez, nice touch. Coming to rescue Alcindor as he plays it up the right side. Nice ball for Garcia in a foot race. Garcia. Kennedy getting back. He'll wait for help. And it's Arenas. Arenas centers one on the cross, but it's caught easily by Lansdale as he rolls it out. Good pace to this one. Very up-tempo. I don't think that Chaska goal is going to be the last one we see in this game. Fuentes Rodriguez. See if Kennedy can get him going a little bit here. With some chances at least. Siriaco Mundo drive. Hits the back of Wackerfoos. Fuentes Rodriguez able to win that ball in traffic. Fuentes Rodriguez shot again too high, but did not look like much of an opportunity there, but he made something happen. Did the sophomore. Bright future for his Kennedy career, already coming to fruition this year with 6 goals already in this season. Here's a replay of the Chaska goal, just an unfortunate mistake right in front of their own net, and Arenas didn't have to do much, just redirected it in. Kennedy's had 2 scoring chances themselves, very good ones that they at least should have probably put one of those in, if not both. Siriaco Mundo on the interception. His shot was deflected by Chaska, unfortunately for Kennedy. Instead of going out of play for a corner, went right to Youngman. David Garcia. Alcindor will swing it over this way to Schindler. Mora in a battle with Arias. It'll go Kennedy's way. Second of 2 meetings between these teams this year. We mentioned Chaska won the earlier one 2-1. They led 1-0 at the half. Both teams scoring twice in the second half. Here's one of the Kennedy near misses as that one goes just over the bar by Perez, and he would have an even better chance moments later. 10 minutes into this first half, Chaska, their early goal holding up so far. Nice steal here. Veras Martinez, but a late whistle. Too much contact. So a free kick in Kennedy's end. Haven't had many set-piece situations so far in this game. Into the box. Good defense there by Kennedy. Looked like Vera Martinez again as this one comes right on to Lansdale. Make sure he stays in play. They're really giving Siriaco Mundo some room to distribute. Not a good idea as he plays a long one for Fuentes Rodriguez. Chaska recovering. Schindler touched out by Arias. Those two continue to battle each other here in the first half. Josh Powers with you alongside our crew. Beautiful Tuesday evening in mid-September. Perfect for high school soccer. Maybe a little warmer than you'd like with the temps in the 70s, but I don't think anyone on the field's going to complain at all. Throw for Chaska, played by Garcia, touched ahead. It's Ducklow. Ducklow sends one, far side. Arenas, cross, header, just wide by Mora. That was a well set up play by Chaska, and Mora had a really good look. But that one just floated wide, and goal kick for Kennedy as they make their first substitution. It's 23, Isaac Bautista, sophomore. Vera Martinez Up ahead. That one gets away from Arias. Chaska trying to counter. Ball for Mora, way too short. And here's Kennedy the other way. Bautista. Trying to get around Arenas and does. Bautista looks up. Ball hit the back of Schindler, though. Wackerfuss. Just too far for Ducklow. Pace settling in just a little bit here midway through this first half. Giveaway by Kennedy. Ducklow. Bautista there for the Eagles. Bad touch by Siriaco Mundo. Rare for him. Garcia. Got around Mohamed Mahamoud, and a foul, though, on Garcia as he held him. States his case to the referee. They usually don't change their mind. Although we did have one on last Thursday where the official said, my bad, I meant to call it on the other team. So it does happen occasionally. Vera Martinez. That one will go out for a goal kick. That's about the best he could hope for in that situation. Siriaco Mundo again. Lots of room to operate. He'll loft one for Fuentes Rodriguez. Didn't get enough arc on it, though. Youngman heaves it. Ball up for Garcia. Wants Mora. Intercepted by Kennedy, sent the other way by Rubio. Nice ball to Arias. Fuentes Rodriguez finds Siriaco Mundo. Nice move by Siriaco Mundo, the senior. Bautista. Fuentes Rodriguez couldn't get to that one in time. Bautista, though, controls. We do have an offside, though, on Kennedy. Castaneda Rios. Not enough room to keep that one in. Wackerfuss has room, chips it into the box. It's Garcia. That one goes all the way across. Did not quite have enough angle. Kennedy fortunate there. Gave Wackerfuss a little bit too much room and space toward the 18. Oh, and somehow makes his way over to Bautista at midfield for Kennedy. Sends it ahead. Too far, though, for Fuentes Rodriguez, who's been quiet so far in this first half. Nice interception there. Arias with room, blasts one, but too high. Youngman not the tallest goaltender around, so that might be the strategy for Kennedy, at least what we've seen so far, trying to go over the top. Arias, surrounded by three Hawks, gives it away. Wackerfuss at midfield. Schindler. Stolen Bautista. Bautista. Fuentes Rodriguez. His shot tried to get to the far post. Didn't get enough on it. All the way back to Vera Martinez. Just tries to get it out of there toward Bautista. Mora plays it back to Schindler. Wackerfuss. Slides it ahead to Mora. He looks toward the middle. Ducklow was down there, though. Hold off on the challenge right now. Alcindor to Garcia, touches it over. Unable to keep it alive, though, Chaska. As we come up on the midway point of this first half, that goal 4 minutes in for the Hawks is still the only one as they lead 1-0. Kennedy coming off that impressive 5-0 performance against Jefferson on Thursday. Schindler into the box, but not for long as Vera Martinez deposits it. Kennedy putting on the pressure. They're getting back in time, though. Kyler Camus, number 6, back on D. Wackerfoos tries to get around Siriaco Mundo and does. Got around Arias, but then the third player in Artola comes to the rescue as it's chipped back toward the box. It got past Kennedy, and the shot didn't get a lot on it. He would like to have that back. Certainly, Mora wanted more out of that left-footed attempt. Lansdale, though, in good position. Fuentes Rodriguez. Back to Arias. Bad first touch, good second touch. Siriaco Mundo. Bautista for Kennedy. Siriaco Mundo. Bautista deflects. Dangerous ball there for Chaska, but they're able to just get a foot on it, or else Fuentes Rodriguez may have had goal number 7. "20 minutes down of this first 40-minute half. No stoppage time here in the high school game. No overtime as well, with the wanting to restrict the game as much as possible with COVID-19. Arias, edge of the 18. Couldn't quite make anything of that challenge. Perez, Siriaco Mundo, but too high once again. As we have a stoppage, so the clock will stop, as you see. I think this might be a water break here midway through this first half. We mentioned it's maybe a little bit warmer than you'd like. Temperatures near 80, so give everybody a little bit of a break. And a mandatory water break. We'll probably see one of those at the midway point of the second half as well. It gives us a chance to reset on this beautiful Tuesday night. Josh Powers alongside our BEC-TV crew. Boys soccer. Been nice to cover soccer. It's been a few years for me. Normally, with all the football obligations we have, don't get a chance to cover soccer. Maybe we'll pick it up in the postseason, but without football this fall, schedule's opened up a little bit. And I want to thank all the viewers for tuning in as well. Increased viewership with less people wanting to attend games as they should during this pandemic. So thank you for tuning in on your Tuesday night. Girls soccer up next, about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. It'll also be Kennedy and Chaska. So settle in for a great night of soccer. We'll also have Thursday coverage for you as well this week, as we'll see Jefferson in action on Thursday night. The girls' game against Benilde. It'll be a 7 o'clock start here at Bloomington Stadium. All right, and perfect timing for our color commentator to join us. Mauricio, glad to have you on the broadcast. Mauricio, can you hear me in our socially distanced booth?
I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
great. Yep, we've got you on live. Mauricio, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate a couple of minutes late coming out of a job while we start in the last 20 minutes of the first half here at the Bloomington Stadium.
Well, you're very familiar with this Kennedy team, Mauricio. We saw them on Thursday. They looked very good against Jefferson, 5-0. What are some strengths of this Kennedy team from your standpoint?
Well, this team has definitely some very crafty players, right? I don't think we have been known in any of the different conferences that we have ever played for size. Right? It's
Yep.
something we have to be honest about it. But we have a lot of strength and we have players who can do very well with the ball at their feet. They also have a lot of really good communication amongst themselves, as well as um, they do a little give and goes to open up space. So those are some of the strengths that this team has that bring to the field for Dan. And this is not only this year. This is a strength that happens year after year.
And we did get the early Chaska goal, Mauricio, to just to fill you in, was a kind of a self-inflicted wound by Kennedy, a mistake right out in front of their own net that they probably shouldn't have made, which against a team like Chaska, they're already so dangerous. Kennedy kind of gave them one there in the fourth minute. But Kennedy's had some chances as well, hit a post earlier in the first half, had another one just over the crossbar.
Yeah, and as you can see, right, the point that I was making, if you look at their defenders, right, their center defenders and kind of their midfielders, they're very tall boys that they have out there too, right? And even when you compare with some of our taller players like number 9, right,
Mm-hmm.
and number 13, they're still the size is not there.
The,
But
the set pieces are not where Kennedy shines.
no,
It's within game those situations. Bautista can't quite get to that one, but it is a foul on Bautista.
hmm
One player we really saw on Thursday, Mauricio, uh, with a hat trick, Diego Fuentes Rodriguez. This is a sophomore that has such a bright future for Kennedy, and we've seen it this year with 6 goals for him already.
yeah, and right, that's the beauty about this team and what they're doing with the lower teams as well with JB and the sophomore team, the B team, right? They're working these players into how they can make them a better players um, at the varsity level, right? And Diego was one of those players who came up from the lower teams and has bring some really good results overall.
Kennedy throw in here for Bautista with just over 16 minutes remaining in this first half. Haven't had any really good chances for Kennedy the last few minutes. See if they can get one here with Arias trying to get toward the box. Over for Perez, but not quite enough on it. Cleared by the Hawks.
Yeah, as you can see right now, it looks like there's 3 defenders right now holding back, and then there's 2 to make the transition through the midfield, and then you have 5 players currently, in the half of the Hawks field right now. So there seems to be more of a attacking mentality more than anything, right? What happens, through the years and as you do this more and more, you're going to be able to see that younger players usually go, midfielder or forward, right? And as they become stronger and faster and everything, they start to fall back into the defense areas because how much they know about the other teams too. So
Kicked out there by Castaneda, Rios, and Chaska. They are a very aggressive team. We mentioned they've scored um, at least 2 in every game this year,
okay,
including 6 against Cooper, 4 against Jefferson,
okay.
and of course they beat Kennedy 3-2
hmm
earlier. Here's a dangerous ball across, and Lansdale secured it. Was waiting on the doorstep was Arenas, and that's kind of how he scored his first goal. It was on a mistake, not by Lansdale, but by the D in front.
Yep. And that's something that, as you can see, right, they try to open up and then push their players forward. I don't know. Is been a strategy that has paid off a lot to Kennedy in the past, right? They have better results when they're coming with the ball control and move into space more than the long ball, right? Because the long balls, sometimes are easier to defend, especially when you have um, height and strength on your defenders.
Free kick here for Chaska. They'll play it quickly ahead. Maybe not expecting it there. Was the Hawks forward over there, the midfielder over there, and gives it right back to Kennedy.
Yep. Looks like a little bit of miscommunication right there. And that happens when you try to do things, very quickly, right?
Mohamoud up for Perez. Off of Chaska.
Yeah, it looks like Marvin coming over to take over the throw in.
Gonzalez Rodriguez, the senior. Arias, edge of the box. Bumped and kicked out by Max Eriksrud, a rare junior. This Chaska team almost all seniors.
Yes.
Very experienced bunch,
Very
as we
experienced
mentioned.
bunch.
Their 4-1 record shows that. A lot of open space, but that was nicely defended there by Castaneda Rios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mesa is checked in for Chaska, number 12. Here's Turpet, also off the bench in this half. Martinez over for Mahamoud. Be a Chaska throw this time as we close in on the 10-minute mark remaining first half. Still 1-0 Chaska.
Seems a lot of very even game at this point, right? I missed the first 20 minutes of the game, but the last 10 minutes that I've been here, uh, it looks, very back and forth, right? Some of them trying to create opportunity, nothing extremely dangerous, right? The goalies have been able to make some of those dangerous moments look easier, but any ball coming to your net is a dangerous ball.
It's been a pretty even game, even the first 20 minutes. And Kennedy trying to get a threat here. Perez tipped away, nearly stolen by Siriaco Mundo. Mesa up ahead. And
Yep.
I was going to say a foul there on Kennedy. Late whistle, but there it was.
Definitely. By Vera Martinez, number 4.
Vera Martinez, one of the captains for Kennedy, as is Siriaco Mundo and Lansdale and Amir Rubio. Free kick for the Hawks and their co-captain Ducklow. Low ball. Didn't get a lot on that one. Not sure exactly where that one's going. He's getting another chance, though, Ducklow. That one also defended by Kennedy. Siriaco Mundo up ahead for Perez. And Wally just relieves the pressure.
Good job defensively there by Kennedy.
We saw on Thursday, Kennedy just dominated the midfield portion of the game, and Siriaco Mundo does a lot of that for the Eagles.
Well, and that's the job of number 10, right? Is being able to distribute that ball to where we feel is the most dangerous spot within the field. Looking for the open areas, looking for the guy on top that has the speed. That's his job as a number 10, right in the middle of the field.
Here's our first corner kick of the game, Mauricio. Goes to Chaska with 10 minutes left in this first half. Looks like Wackerfoos over there to take it. And this is where the height can play an advantage for the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Alcindor, number 5, in the mix.
And this is where Lansdale can definitely shine, right? Because he's a tall player, and with his hands up, nobody should be taller than him, right?
Good point. He can win those battles there as he kind of has the right of way to be
Hmm.
aggressive in the box. Throw this time for Chaska as that corner goes harmlessly out of play. Here's a dangerous ball, and just missing that header was Meza. You would like that back because I think Lansdale, a little half step slow on that one. Meza had a little bit of an opening.
Completely agree with that, right? When you say keep, you gotta make sure you get to that ball. There is no hesitation. Take a look at what you were talking about, that half step, right? When he goes, keep, right? You
Yep.
gotta keep following that ball all the way until it's out of your area.
Kennedy gets it down there quickly. That was fortunate. And I think Lansdale maybe thought he couldn't get there. It looked like he probably could have played that ball.
Well, that's backpedaling is never easy for a goalie, right? And but it's the right thing to do in that moment.
Good touch there by Kennedy as Ducklow was ready to break free if he got a chance. Siriaco Mundo tangled up with Alcindor, and they play on. Kennedy might have a number advantage here. Perez, nice fake. Perez shot, and this was blocked and will go out as they'll now, I believe, stop play for the injured Hawk.
Yep, definitely. Yep, he's pointing that he wants time to stop so he can have his players take a look at it. It looks like two players
Oh, my
down
God. Yeah, I
for
didn't see the
Chaska.
player on the Kennedy side of the field. Alcindor is up. Looks like he'll probably stay in. The other injured Hawk is one of their key guys, Ethan Ducklow, the co-captain, with 7 goals so far this season.
Yeah, and that was a collision that he had with one of the players. Looks like it wasn't so much as collision, but it is. I think when he stepped out when he was trying to block the clear um, from the defender, that he didn't step really well.
So that would be a major loss for Chaska if Ducklow were to miss any time. Looks like probably an ankle.
Yep.
My guess is he'll probably stay on the sidelines for the rest of this first half and then see how things go for him to
Yep.
start the second half.
And they're winning, right? That's the
Yep.
good thing. They don't have to risk. As a coach, you don't want to. If you're winning, even if you're tying at this point in the first half, I rather have the player sit down and not risk further injuring than than risk a player out for 2 or 3 games or even the rest of the season,
Well,
right?
yeah, 2 or 3 games is almost the rest of this abbreviated year. There's only 11 games in the regular season. This is game number 6 tonight for both of these teams. So we're at the midway point of the year already.
Yeah. I mean, it was a short season as it was, and they shortened it even more,
Right.
right?
But it is good to see the high school boys and girls get this opportunity, especially for the seniors. Mauricio, they certainly did not know where things stood for much
Hmm.
of the summer with the pandemic, and I'm sure they are super excited to have some form of a season, although abbreviated here, especially for that senior class.
Yep. Not only that, right? But the fact that a lot of these players they could not play with their traveling teams, right?
Right.
They had to basically there was no season for traveling whatsoever, and I'm sure they're super grateful to have the opportunity um, to play for the high school season in the fall.
Here's a good ball up for Perez. Dancing just outside the 18, makes his move. Stops, sends one across, headed out but not out of danger. Siriaco Mundo trying to get to space. His shot twisting a low one, and it's corralled by Youngman.
Those shots are so difficult to make, right? The hips are not square. You're in the awkward position, right? There's not a whole lot of strength until you're able to really line up with the ball. So he you know really, really good effort on his behalf, but it's really hard to make anything happen out of when you're running, sideways with the ball instead of facing where you're shooting.
But you keep putting balls toward the net, never a bad thing.
Never a bad thing. Never a bad thing.
So Kennedy here with just over 6 minutes left in the half. Gonzalez Rodriguez, plenty of room up the left side. Blasted away by Wally.
He was looking for Garcia, number 18, trying to get him to work. When Kennedy is subbing a player.
Looks like Bautista out. And that is
Reyes is in.
Jaime Reyes.
Jaime Reyes.
Junior for Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. Very crafty player. Again, that's the strength to this team, right? Players who not necessarily have the size, but they're super quick with their feet and they're crafty. They know how to use their body.
Foul here on, it looks like on Chaska, and you can see the position on the field. This is going to give Kennedy a very good free kick opportunity. I'm not sure if they would want to score on a direct kick, but certainly
Definitely a possibility.
From this distance, you probably could give it a go. So it'll be Siriaco Mundo on the kick.
He lines up for the shot. He's going to take it with his right.
There's the shot, Siriaco Mundo toward the far
Dangerous
post.
one.
Did that go over the line? Apparently no. Here's where the foul was called on Chaska. You can see why there. Siriaco Mundo going to gain an advantage and just kind of being held with the left hand.
Yeah.
Football, that'd be a 10-yard holding penalty.
If we were just playing a different sport, right, Josh? Yeah. Well, as you can see, these are the things that only on a replay, right? Siriaco was also pulling a little bit of the shirt with him too, right? It was his way of defense when he started getting pulled back. So when you saw the player going up with the arms and telling the referee, "Hey, look, he's pulling my shirt," right? He started the shirt pulling and using his body before.
Kennedy could have numbers here played up to De Leon. We saw him score on Thursday in the second half. Perez, nice move. Perez couldn't quite find enough room to get that shot off. Chaska back the other way trying to counter. Wakrufus, long ball, far side. It's on target. Garcia open. Garcia touching the box. Garcia to the left foot. Slides it just wide. Almost his 9th goal of the year. You can see Kennedy's done a good job on Garcia in this first half. He's been pretty quiet, but they're very dangerous touch.
Well, you saw what everything started with the long ball, very accurate to the right-hand side of the field. And again, kind of like we saw on the other side with Siriaco too, kicking the ball when you don't have your hip square is extremely hard. So he did the best that he could where he was.
Reyes tripped up. Foul on Chaska just outside of the 18. Kennedy with another set piece here very late in this half. Arias to take it, the freshman, number 17 for Kennedy. That is not a very threatening wall there, just two players for Chaska. Arias toward the far post for a header, but there's the size of Chaska coming into play there as they're able to clear.
Looking for Perez right there on number 9, and Chaska defense was able to get to that ball first, but it was a really nice
it's a good ball from the freshman.
Good ball for the freshman, yes.
Gonzalez Rodriguez had it taken away. Garcia up ahead. Mesa. This one too far,
Too
though.
far.
Good idea. So we're down to just 90 seconds left in this first half. Girls game up next. 20-minute break between games will start at around 7:15 for the girls game against Chaska.
Beautiful afternoon here, Josh, to be playing soccer.
For sure. No wind, which is usually a factor. De Leon keeps it in play. Sends one toward the middle. Deflected right on. I didn't think that Perez thought he was going to have that clean of a touch as that ball came across. Unfortunately, couldn't get a lot on it, and Youngman was able to grab it.
Yeah, split of a second decision, right? You have to decide, do I just take a shot as it comes, or do I take a soft touch and try to put it in the middle there too? So
maybe another chance here. This one got by Perez. Youngman scoops it up once again with just under half a minute left. Final chance here for Chaska, if they'd like. They'll try to push ahead here with 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6.
And I think the Hawks are going to be content here with a 1-0 halftime advantage at Bloomington Stadium. Mauricio, what did you think of the last half of the first half for Kennedy?
it was. I think Kennedy played really well. I think Kennedy created a lot more opportunities, and Chaska is trying to take advantage of the counterattack. Right, they're holding and then looking for the long ball and then switching the field really well. But Kennedy, if they continue working at this pace for the second half, I think it's going to pay off for the results.
They're certainly getting their fair share of chances in this game as Kennedy, but yet to break through. They've had a couple near misses, one off of a crossbar, and Chaska took advantage of a Kennedy mistake for their only goal. Should be a very good second half coming up. If you're watching live, it'll be about a 10-minute break for the second half. Otherwise, come back to BEC-TV. Second half up next. Kennedy and Chaska here at Bloomington Stadium.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in. Help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit savethefood.com.
Back at Bloomington Stadium at halftime here on Boys Soccer Night in Bloomington. 1-0 Chaska over Kennedy. Alongside Mauricio Barrientos, I'm Josh Powers.
How's it going today, Josh?
Going well. I'm just excited to be back in the booth with everything canceled and
all this craziness that we're living today.
Yep, it makes it feel a little bit more normal to be back here on BEC-TV in my 20th season. So,
wow.
And I know for the students and everybody, the players, this, as you said, Mauricio, they didn't play soccer in the summer, so now it's a chance to get back with their teammates and friends and enjoy being a high school kid once again.
Yes. And for some of them, right, finish high school strong with a sport that definitely love to play. So
here's Kennedy with an early opportunity on the far side, chipped right toward the middle for De Leon, but caught out of the air by Youngman. Kind of a back and forth first half, and I think you were spot on with your analysis there because Kennedy probably has had more possession time in this game. We don't have an official stat, but Chaska's been kind of the team more countering the Kennedy possession game. Here's a dangerous ball, just wide. It was Ducklow, who was, remember, injured in the first half. Their second leading scorer with 7 goals, and seems a little bit gimpy. It was that ankle in the first half.
Dangerous player right there, right? He took advantage that the ball had a weird bounce for the center D, headed it, and then was able to even change the direction of the ball. Very close to score. Very, very close. And you know, like we talked in the first half, that was the long ball to him, right? Let's look for the players for the long ball, which is a different strategy than Kennedy is used to.
De Leon over to Ramirez. Loaiza. Siriaco Mundo, left-footed entrance for De Leon. A little bit too far. And Chaska lets that roll out. That's Kennedy's game. They want to get that ball to Siriaco Mundo. And he leads Kennedy in assists. De Leon, nice touch here. And just wide, Fuentes Rodriguez. As good of a chance as he's had in this game right there. He had a hat trick last Thursday. But I like Kennedy's offense so far to start the second half, Mauricio.
Definitely. I mean, they came out of the halftime playing and taking chances.
There's another one by Fuentes Rodriguez.
And right now, you know, losing by 1, losing by 2, not that much of a difference, right? And sometimes being down a couple of goals, it helps the team concentrate and get back on track, right? But right now, they're the ones taking the initiative and presenting some of the players and they're not afraid to take shots right now.
Fuentes Rodriguez lets one go again, but it's blocked this time. Chaska again trying to counter. Wackerfuss. Ahead Garcia. Mora. Garcia hit, and looks like a Kennedy foul. That one well outside the box. But almost like a corner kick right here for Chaska.
Yeah, I think these ones are a little bit more dangerous because you, with the corner, the possibility of bending a ball into the net is less than it is at this specific angle, right? You can either go for a header or you can try to bend it into the far post.
It's a dangerous situation here for Kennedy given Chaska Hawks' height advantage. They also have to keep a couple players out there. Punched away nicely there by Lansdale. Exactly what you'd want him to do. Kennedy has some space. Ball for De Leon, too far.
Really good clear by Lansdale right there. And that created an opportunity for Kennedy to do the counterattack.
Garcia had an option to maybe try to slip one through to Ducklow, instead decided to fire in a relatively easy save for Lansdale. Watch Lansdale here. Not only does he punch this out, Mauricio, but he punches it right out to one of his forwards up there.
Exactly. He's looking to create an opportunity for his forwards, right? It was definitely on purpose, and just got a little too excited when Diego number 11 received the ball.
Fuentes Rodriguez, given a little bit of space, now draws a double team. Quickly ahead, Loaiza. Fuentes Rodriguez, maybe trying to win a corner over there. Still alive. Loaiza twists one toward Perez. Too high for him to handle. Here's Siriaco Mundo back right in the box.
Really good effort there by Siriaco, right? At that moment, you have to make a choice. Do I make a shot or do I pass it to somebody else who's in better position, right? He tried to do the scoring. It's definitely a good effort.
Kennedy's getting a good number of touches and opportunities here. Start this second half. Still plenty of time. Ramirez on the move. Ramirez. Good defense there by Chaska. That was 22 Cameron Wally.
Good job by the Chaska defender. Ramirez holding to the ball a little too long, but you also have to think about, did he have any other options, right? Was somebody open for him to be able to play the ball into the right spot?
Mora, nice touch. Return feed, Mora. Foul on Kenny. That's probably a good foul, though, because Mora would have been in the clear. He was taken out by Vera Martinez.
Definitely is a good foul. Some referees would have just played the advantage too, and then go back and talk to the player after that, but he didn't think he was going to be able to regain full control of the ball. But still a dangerous situation nonetheless.
Ducklow on the free kick. In the box, still loose. Touched out to Garcia, and he was way off target on that one.
Very interesting how they decide to play out the ball and draw some players towards the play instead of taking a goal kick or get it wide. They play it right there on the 6, between the 6 and the penalty kick.
Maybe
to draw some players, and then they play it outside. So
maybe they think that if they just blast it up ahead, the height of Chaska is going to win the majority of those balls. Here they slip one through. On the touch, Garcia blocked. Gonzalez Rodriguez saves the day.
Really, really good job by Gonzalez, right? He put his body in there just to prevent a second goal for his team. Very good individual effort from Gonzalez.
Garcia has been much more dangerous so far in the second half than he was in the first half. Corner here for the Hawks. Good ball here. Garcia just past the post. There's that height advantage. That corner was on target.
And you had another player from Chaska coming in to close it, and he missed it.
Yeah.
I think he got too excited too.
Or maybe not sure how to redirect that one in. It was kind of at less than head level, but higher than waist level.
Exactly.
It's in an awkward position.
Yeah. You cannot put your shoulder, you cannot put your feet up, right? It's very awkward to be able to do anything like that. You just want the ball to just hit your body.
Yes.
That's what you have to
Innocently, yep. Rodriguez ball for De Leon. He was shielded off. Here's a good ball with room. Arenas, a little bit too far.
Dangerous ball, but played really well on the back for Lansdale that clears it to his midfielders.
Here's Siriaco Mundo. Fuentes Rodriguez. Loaiza chips it. Got Perez. Dancing Perez. His cross. Too far. Now, if you're Kennedy, you look up and you're past that 10-minute mark into the second half, and that clock becoming less and less of your friend right now. Still a long way to go.
I agree with you, but I think that we're watching a really, really good game, very interesting game. And a lot could still happen, right?
For sure. There's been so many chances on each side. To have it only be 1-0, Chaska not used to playing games like this. They've given up their fair share of goals this year, even though they're 4-1 on the other side. Kennedy's done a nice job of keeping their offense from finding the back of the net more than once, and the only goal they got was on a Kennedy error.
Well, and unfortunately, sometimes that's all it takes to win a game, right? One error.
Way back in the 4th minute, that goal for the Hawks. Siriaco Mundo looked promising. Mora. Siriaco Mundo, long ball for Fuentes Rodriguez. Too much steam. Elsindor deflected away. Perez checks his surroundings, touches it ahead. Perez on the return pass. Loaiza, nice move. Loaiza for Perez, back for Loaiza, a little bit too far. Siriaco Mundo couldn't quite get there. On the counter, once again, Chaska. Garcia has Ducklow ahead. He chips it toward Ducklow, just too far, and Lansdale comes out and plays it nicely. That's been typical of this game, hasn't it, Mauricio? Kennedy on one end controlling, and then Chaska countering.
Yes. That's what the strategy has been so far, and they definitely have the speed. Even number 7, right? He was he's still limping. You can see him limping off. He still's got a lot of speed, and he's really dangerous right there in the middle.
That's why he has 7 goals this year. Ethan Ducklow, the co-captain. On the move again, Ducklow! Around Lansdale, should be a penalty shot. And it will be.
And it will be a penalty kick.
And I think that one was probably going to trickle over the line, but I think Lansdale just didn't want to take that chance. Or at least they would have been able to recover enough. He would have had to create some sort of angle from over there had he been able to get to it. But now a perfect angle with no defenders in front of him. And this one would be damaging for Kennedy with just under 26 minutes left. So the co-captain, Ducklow, goes right foot and scores, and Chaska goes up by 2. That was interesting, Mauricio. He was lined up as if he was going to kick it left-footed, then switched over to the right. I don't see that too often.
You don't see that very often. I agree. Very unorthodox.
8th goal of the season for number 7, Ethan Ducklow. Now Kennedy. The task has become much more difficult as they need 2.
Scoring on the penalty kick for Chaska. Number 7, Ethan Ducklow.
When Kennedy went up by 2 against Jefferson on Thursday, you kind of got the sense that that game was over. You don't have that same feeling here.
Yes, I agree, right? They're 2 different games. They're absolutely 2 different games, and the 2 games, 2 teams on the field are very different too.
Fuentes Rodriguez, ball for Perez! Just intervening in time was Youngman. Kennedy nearly got one of them right back right there. A great ball across by Fuentes Rodriguez.
And if we can take a look at that play again, you see that the goalie was almost beat too.
Yep.
And it was just quick reaction, right? Not sure if it was hit his side or his hand, but it was extremely dangerous, almost scoring opportunity.
Ducklow on the move again. Chips one. Garcia working to space. Saved by Lansdale.
Really good defensive job there by Kennedy, and extremely dangerous situation that Garcia created for.
So turnover, Kennedy. Ducklow again with room to operate. Kennedy has had to, rightfully so, be a little more aggressive offensively, and it's been leading to some Chaska chances. Too far in the touch there. Jack Bizzle, number 16 is in. He's a sophomore. Wackerfoos twists one ahead to Mora. Mora looking for the cross. Mora sends it across. And that one, we'll see who that bounced off of last. I think it went off Chaska last. It was off of Arenas. And Mora is down for the Hawks. And they'll stop play. Clock has continued to run here. There they stop, but they let about 7 or 8 seconds go by.
Yeah, looked like he had a collision with Gonzalez, number 25. And it looks like he's in a lot of pain too.
Yeah, Gonzalez trying to defend there. Tough to tell from here exactly what happened. I was also trying to follow the ball as it made its way. There's the Kennedy bench, Dan Buschendorf, the head coach. Brian Lopez, assistant. Mauricio, for the viewers out there, what's your background in the game of soccer?
Well, my background, right? I grew up in Costa Rica playing soccer, just street soccer. Um, Played for a couple of teams during my younger years, um, and kind of local teams, local traveling teams. Then I moved to Minnesota when I was 18. Um, then I became a coach for all my kids. I have 4 kids, and I've been a coach for the last 15 years at either a coach or assistant coach for their teams. So at C1 and Premier teams that they've been part of, as well as helping a little bit with some of the high schools in the past too. So that's a little bit of my background in regards to soccer. You grew up loving the sport. Watch a lot of games and always willing to learn from people who have a lot of opportunities.
How was it as a teenager moving from the tropical climate of Costa Rica to Minnesota?
Well, and then you might want to add, December 27th for that too.
That was the move date, huh?
That was the move date, which made it, even more drastic, more dramatic. Yeah, being in a place that you don't even know that where the word snow is, right? And I get out of the airplane and it's like, oh my goodness, this is really cold. They were not kidding. So it was a interesting move. Had to learn the language, the culture, everything. Started from zero. So
Well, we appreciate your insights to the game and all the coaching, volunteering you do around the Twin Cities.
definitely, thank you.
See if Kennedy can get one back. We have an offside, I believe. Yep. Is it not offside? Is that good?
It is offside.
Okay. I was going to say I saw the hand up, but they kept playing. De Leon offsides.
Yep.
And it's hard for us here in the booth to hear the whistle. I'm in an enclosed booth with no ability to crack a window.
I did not hear the whistle, and that's probably the reason why he continued playing. Yeah.
So we're just about midway through the second half. Chaska's increased their halftime advantage of 1 now to 2. Here's Garcia. His cross, not far enough. That was well played by Kennedy. And were they able to save that? No, Bizzle could not keep it alive. Abdi Abdullah's checked in for Chaska, number 11.
He came from the injured Mora.
Here's where it was offside for Kennedy. It's hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah, definitely that angle is not going to help us define if...
It looked up here like it was the correct call.
Yes. Yep. It's not always easy, right, to be...
No.
I mean, you're from Bloomington. You have kids that have played for Bloomington and currently playing for Kennedy too. So really hard to be objective sometimes. But I think our job, definitely called us to be very, very, very objective too. So you have to know when it's right and when it's wrong.
Foul on Kennedy, so whacker fuss. Free kick. Sends it into the box. There's a good header by Perez. Maybe an opportunity to counter. Fuentes Rodriguez. Well played, though, on the other side by Camus.
Yeah, and some players, right, they start showing some frustration, especially if they don't agree with some of the calls. But they need to be able to direct that frustration on the field, right? So
got a Kennedy player slow to get up. We'll see if they stop the clock. They haven't yet. It's Diego Perez, the sophomore. I think they just wanted him to get over that out of bounds. So he was out of play. Kennedy will substitute. Chaska has not recorded a shutout yet this year, even though they've won 4 games, which I would say is unusual.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, defensively, they have not shown a lot of strength. If you really think about the game and you analyze it, you see that they have some big gaps defensively, and Kennedy has been able to exploit those gaps. It's just a matter of doing the final part of scoring. That's the missing part, which is the important part. But they have been able to exploit some of those gaps that they show defensively. This is not a one-side game. The 2-0. It's not reflected on the field.
Absolutely. Even that last free kick by Chaska, I was surprised they committed so many players down in their box, and they really left their defenders on that counter one-on-one. Seemed a little bit surprising with the 2-goal lead. This is the mandatory, or not mandatory, but water break midway through the half. We had one back in the first half.
Okay. Is that something for every single game?
I would imagine they'll do it for the girls' game too. Again, it's not terribly hot out. Temperatures are in the mid-70s, but never a bad thing to take a little bit of a breather and just make sure everyone's properly hydrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very unusual. This is the first year that I see it.
We did not have it on Thursday. The temperatures were in the low 60s there. Next home game for Kennedy on next Monday, on the 21st, they will take on Chanhassen.
Okay.
Kennedy tied Chanhassen earlier this year.
1-1.
1-1 tie.
Mm-hmm.
Our next boys broadcast will be Tuesday the 29th. Here's a chance for Chaska. Lansdale the save. Couldn't control it. That one skips by Abdullah. Fortunately for Kennedy. Bizzle. Foul on Wackerfoos of Chaska.
Well
Kennedy.
played really quickly by the Kennedy squad.
Stolen by the Hawks with a 2-goal lead. Final 20 minutes. Garcia has Ducklow. Lets that one go through, I believe, on purpose, but didn't have enough steam for Garcia to get to it. Very nearly 3-0 Lansdale. Didn't come up with it cleanly. Ducklow was able to get to the rebound. And it's a really good job there defending by Gonzalez Rodriguez. Did not panic. How much room they're giving Kennedy here. Vera Martinez.
When you have 5 players defending, right? The last line is 5 players.
Yep. Free kick for Kennedy. In a pretty good spot. Siriaco Mundo. See what he decides to do here.
Nothing wrong with go on net, but
Hit his own teammate, Bizzle. Just outside the box. Siriaco Mundo again. Didn't get all of that one. Ducklow tried to squeeze it through to Garcia. Rodriguez was there. Elsendorf sends it over to Zeeble toward the box for Garcia. Deflected away. Will stay in. Just touched out by Kennedy. Now Chaska will take their time on all these situations here down the stretch.
Well, you want to cool the play a little bit, right? I'm surprised that they still trying to move the ball forward so fast, right? You're winning 2-0. You're trying to maintain control of the ball. You want to play the ball side to side, show the ball to the other team, right? Get them to do a little bit more running. Surprising that again they're trying to push forward every single time.
Chipped over Castaneda Rios. He recovers. Now they're possessing it a little bit more. As I say that, Wacker Foos swings it across. Abdullah off the head of Bizzle for a corner. Final 15 minutes in regulation. If you're just joining us, Chaska's led the entire way. Their first goal 4 minutes in. They scored about 15 minutes into the second half. The Hawks try for their first shutout of the season. Foul here on Kennedy. Josh Powers alongside Mauricio Berrientos. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
You're doing a perfect job with it. Sounded like you've been practicing for a while, so I appreciate that.
Goes back to my 2 years of high school Spanish at Jefferson High School. Okay, free kick, Chaska. Definitely a threat to score right here. They will go for it off the crossbar.
Very nice shot.
The attempt by Garcia. About the same spot where Kennedy hit a crossbar on a shot by Perez in the first half. So both teams have sent one off the bar. Fuentes Rodriguez. Trying to win it against two Hawks. Got a throw in at least.
Never stop working.
You mentioned the quickness of Kennedy. He's got those quick feet that are ideal in those type of situations. Here's the free kick by Garcia. Beautiful ball. Even when you're a taller goaltender like Lansdale, those higher shots can work. You saw it right there.
Well, one of the things that people don't, I mean, it doesn't matter how tall you are, right? That helps you when you're looking at the ball vertical, right? But if it's a little bit to your left or a little bit to your right, it will help you. But still, you don't have the same reach that if you are just up vertical. And if you saw it with that, right, it went a little bit to his left, right? He couldn't hit the upper bar with his hand.
Another long ball for Garcia. Rubio back there for Kennedy. Siriaco Mundo up for Fuentes Rodriguez. Well played by Wally. And a foul here on Kennedy. Or should be anyway, in my opinion.
A yellow card.
There it is. Yellow card for Diego Fuentes Rodriguez. Has not been the same night for him as it was on Thursday when he had the hat trick against Jefferson. He'll be subbed out here with 12 minutes remaining. As Perez comes back in. Rodriguez heads it, but not out of the box. Chance for Chaska. That one blasted too tall by Ducklow. Reminder, girls game coming up next. Be about a 20-minute break. And we'll have the Kennedy girls against Chaska live on BEC-TV. If you're not watching live, check BEC-TV.org for when that game will be replayed. Kennedy's going to need something miraculous here in the final 11 minutes plus to come back and at least get a tie. Remember, no overtime here, so this final 11 and change is it. Now Kennedy also playing without Fuentes Rodriguez. Perhaps their best offensive player, at least their best forward. Abdali toward the corner. Intercepted by Siriaco Mundo. Kennedy with some space on this side. Mohamed Mundo. Ball over for Loaiza. Good touch, Loaiza, and a Chaska foul.
That's one of the things that Kennedy will need to figure out, right? It's like, how can you make the best out of these specific situations when you have free kicks, when you have corner kicks, right? Come up with different solutions to be able to come up with, create dangerous situations.
They're going to stop the clock. Referee wants to talk to the two Chaska players, back them up a couple of paces away from where Arias is going to take this free kick.
Seems a little long, but
it does. There's a low ball into the box for Vera Martinez, headed away by the Hawks, and now Ducklow has room. Ducklow chips it, Garcia. Blasted! Lansdale to save. Avila had the shot, but Lansdale, he was over on that side already.
very well positioned to control that ball and work well for him. Really good play by the Chaska team too. The cross.
Mohamed back to Vera Martinez. Checks his options. Siriaco Mundo. Nicely stolen by Wackerfoos. Garcia on the run. Half step Garcia. His shot. Scores! David Garcia with his 9th goal of the year, and that will put this one away in the win column in all probability for the Hawks. And counterattack has been their strength all game, and Garcia finds the back, and then at Lansdale got a piece of it, Mauricio, but not enough.
Completely agree. You know, he came out, he caught the angle, he did the right things, right? Nobody can really blame him for what he did. He came out, caught the angle, and the ball just, it was a really strong shot. If we see the replay, you're gonna be able to see
there, Mauricio, the replay.
Right? He tried to kind of put the ball over the ball. The shot was, very strong shot.
That's tough for a goaltender because you're not sure you're going to have to dive. Is it going to be a low shot? But By the time he can get his hands up, not able to get enough of it. Lansdale comes out. We have a new goaltender for Kennedy, Owen Peters, a sophomore. Will play the remaining 8 minutes. Stopping for a Kennedy sub here. Arias and Loaiza jogging off, as well as Siriaco Mundo. Kennedy waving the white flag at this point, down by 3. In a game that we've watched you've watched most of it, Mauricio. You would not think the score would be 3-0 just by watching the flow possession time of this game here tonight.
I completely agree with you, right? I would imagine that Kennedy would have scored at least 1 or 2 goals out of the opportunities they had during the 60 minutes that I almost done watching here.
Well, and their two best chances probably came in the first 10 minutes. Within 30 seconds of each other, they probably should have at least put one of those away.
Yeah, we saw the cross, to the far side, to Perez that he missed on a header, and then the other shot too. I think it was the Reyes. See,
I believe that's
Fuentes Rodriguez.
Yep.
He had another shot. So
free kick for Chaska here, deep in Kennedy's end. Headed out by Gonzalez Rodriguez. So we're kind of midway through this Kennedy season here. Upcoming, they've got Robbinsdale Cooper, team that has not won a game yet. Then they play Chanhassen, team kind of near Kennedy in the standings. We've got that game against Jefferson too on October 6th. We'll have that one for you. We'll have the Chanhassen one for you as well. Those are the upcoming games for us as we continue to take advantage of some additional soccer coverage this year.
yeah, hopefully we'll be able to have kind of the same weather here
That'd be nice.
for next couple of weeks. It'll be good for everyone, right? For the fans in the stands, for the players in the field, coaches.
The regular season anyway will end on October 8th, so it's not too far from now. But it'd be nice to still be in the 60s and 70s for the next 3 weeks.
Just remind everybody, at game's end, please exit to the south end towards 90th Street.
Bloomington doing a nice job of following
Towards the south
COVID guidelines. Got fans exiting only one way through.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do to help reduce the risk of getting the COVID, right? So
Yeah, they're not letting the fans in for the girls' game until everyone has exited the stadium from this game. Trying to avoid as much interaction as possible while still giving the boys and girls a chance to play. And they're not and that's what's got to be hard for the younger students and kids, is they're not really the ones that are at risk primarily.
mm-hmm.
So great to see them play so far this season, and so far we've had some schools anyway, hybrid models. They've been opened, and so far so good. I know we're only a week and change in, but let's hope it can continue. Maintaining control, at least momentarily, Alcindor, and then a Kennedy foul.
Yeah, really close. The referee was really close to play, just advantage. But at the moment they lost the ball, it's like, okay, I have to call the foul now.
Wackerfuss with this free kick for the Hawks. Right off the wall. See where it bounces around. Rodriguez gets it out of the box. Kennedy clears it away. And here's Angel Fuentes Rodriguez, number 6, the freshman. We assumed on Thursday the younger brother of Diego. Some reserves got in for Kennedy in a good way on Thursday in that 5-0 win. Now they're in there in the bad way, down by 3. This blast goes wide by Chaska's Avila.
Goalkeeper for the Eagles, number 33, Owen
Peters
Peters.
here, the sophomore, with this goal kick. Again, Kennedy's just been keeping that strategy short all game, possession. Wackerfuss intercepts. Abdali. Taken away by Bautista. He kind of bear hugged him. And a foul.
I call that a little something to remember.
Bautista wanted to get his hands up in the air to protest, but they were being wrapped up momentarily.
Yeah. Like, you cannot do that if they're holding you. They're bear hug.
There's a ball for Bizzle in the corner and did not keep it in. The flag went up. Chaska 90 seconds away from their first shutout. And a 5-1 record. Their girls team will go for that same record against the Kennedy girls coming up in just a few minutes. Nice move here by Perez, but then ran into a double team. Vera Martinez. Foul by Avila. Excellent chance here.
1 minute remaining.
Co-captain
1 minute.
Vera Martinez to take it.
See if he takes a shot on net, and
There it is. It's on net, but right to Youngman. Who's probably just preserved that shutout there. Wackerfuss trying for one last opportunity. Good attempt by Vera Martinez there. I'd like to maybe get a little bit more toward the corner, but he put a good swing into that one.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Final few seconds here
3,
in a Chaska Hawks 3-0 win here at Bloomington Stadium. Mauricio, a good effort by Kennedy. They certainly had their chances, but at the end of the day, they could not cash in on those chances, and Chaska did.
I agree. I mean, all the players from Kennedy have, put a best effort, and they created a lot of good opportunities. They just couldn't put it in the back of the net. And at the end of the game, that's what it counts. Chaska came back with just a counter-attack strategy with a lot of speed on top and some crafty players too on top. So.
And that penalty kick from Ducklow was a pivotal point, and then Garcia putting it away with that final goal for the Hawks. Let's take a look at the highlights from this one on BEC-TV. This is the 4th minute of mistake in their own end. Got by the defender. Goaltender Lansdale did not come out to play it. He thought it was being taken care of, and Arias found the back of the net, or Arenas, excuse me. Here's some Kennedy chances in that early going. Mauricio. As eventually Siriaco Mundo pulls that one in. Another one just slipping by for Chaska, and then I think we're going to have a couple of chances here by Perez. Chaska had chances of their own too. They could have maybe found the back of the net 1 or 2 more times.
Yeah, defensively we show, really good strength at times, right? At times we had some good moments, but we struggle. We struggle with the speed. We struggle like right there too, right? That last goal. Nobody, I mean, at least 3 or 4 yards away, it was the nearest player. So, but kudos to Chaska, and they've done a great job during this game.
And now Chaska is 5-1. Kennedy falls to 1-3-1. Reminder: girls game up next. It'll be about a 20-minute break. Then we will have if you're watching live, we'll have the Kennedy girls and Chaska girls. Our next Kennedy boys broadcast next Monday, September 21st. The opponent will be Chanhassen. Really enjoyed this one, Mauricio. Appreciate your insights on the game, and wish we would have had a couple more goals for Kennedy, but it was still fun regardless.
It was fun. Thank you so much, Josh.
All right, that'll wrap it up for our entire crew. For Mauricio Barrientos, this is Josh Powers saying so long for now from Bloomington Stadium. Girls game coming up next. If you're watching live, stick around. More soccer to come on BEC-TV.